Something has gone wrong with how we see beauty in the world. Don't get me wrong, we are more surrounded with beauty than ever. Our phones bombard us with images of the beautiful life, one of laughing friends, beautiful beaches, new cars, and smiling families. Our screens depict to us the homes we can't afford, the renovation projects we think we deserve, and the Kardashians we simply cannot keep up with. We are surrounded by the idea of beauty. We are filled with the desire to have such beauty in our lives, and yet we can never seem to attain it. In a fascinating study back in 2017, Renee Engelin, a psychologist out of Northwestern, examined the consequences of social media on teenage women and adults. She says, "We have created a culture that tells women the most important thing they can be is beautiful. Then we pummel them with a standard of beauty they will never meet. After that, when they worry about beauty, we call them superficial, or even worse, we dismiss their concerns altogether." Her analysis and the title of her book is Beauty Sick: How the Cultural Obsession with Appearance Hurts Girls and Women. This, of course, isn't just a problem facing women, though it has arguably done the most damage to them. There is a superficiality when it comes to beauty in our culture today. In response to our beauty sick culture, the Song of Songs offers a stunning invitation to be named as beautiful by the beloved. There's this opening verse in chapter 2 that sets the stage for a theology of beauty. The woman is going to say this: "I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys." In a way, this is remarkable. In a beauty-sick age, to even acknowledge beauty in oneself is a difficult act to follow. But there is a tremor of insecurity in the woman here as well. Commentators note that she points out she is only a rose, simply one of the lilies of the valley. In response, the beloved will be emphatic and clear. This is verse 3. "Like a lily among the thorns is my darling among the young women." The beloved could not be more clear. No one else even comes close. All other pale in comparison. It's like when he looks for beauty, he sees this woman. Something powerful is happening here in the naming of beauty. As the woman's beauty is seen and named and blessed by the man, she too will turn and see and name and bless the beauty of the beloved. It's almost as if the two lovers enter into this dance of delight in the beauty of each other. Like the more they look truly and see truly the beauty in each other, the more they speak and receive the blessing of each other's gaze, the more their affirmation and adoration strengthens the identity of each other. Which makes you want to ask, what is the Bible saying about beauty here? What is, in fact, a theology of beauty? I never heard this talked about in the churches I was a part of. Much like sex, beauty is so often a neglected trope that Christians almost don't seem to know what to say about it. That hasn't always been the case in the history of the church. Instead, some of the most profound theologians realized beauty was essential to what God was doing in the world. In fact, they would claim God is the source of all beauty. Think about the implications of that for a moment. When you see beauty, when you are moved by beauty, when something stirs in you from a song or a painting or a person even, what is moving you is beauty whose source comes from God. If this all sounds quite shocking and controversial, you'd be surprised to know that it's coming from none other than the American Puritan theologian, Jonathan Edwards. Though he is most often known for his sermon, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, you know that sermon we're forced as Americans to read in our high school lit class, there's been increasingly this renaissance of new interest in Edwards because, as many have pointed out, beauty is actually at the heart of his theology and how he sees God working in the world. When you read about Edwards' life, he would often just wander nature, contemplating the beauty he saw around him, asking where it came from and what it revealed about his creator. His reflections come out in a quote such as this. I love this quote. "God is the foundation and fountain of all being and all beauty. from whom all is perfectly derived, and on whom all is most absolutely and perfectly dependent. Much more than the sun is the fountain and summary comprehension of all light and brightness of the day. I love that image. God is the source and fountain from which all beauty flows. Beauty is flowing out of God, Edwards declares in amazement, and God is using this beauty to draw us to himself. This dance of beauty then, this dance of seeing, naming, and praising the beauty found in each other, really is the dance of God's redemption. The very work God has been doing in the world from the beginning when he placed his image bearers in the garden. I mean, this is just one of those moments where I have to pause and ask, can you imagine if that gospel is true? That God, the creator of beauty, is using beauty to draw you to himself. Could you imagine what it would feel like on an existential level if you could be seen, named, and praised as beautiful by the one who made you and the one from whom all beauty flows? I think it would begin to heal the beauty sickness in our culture if we could truly begin to see not just shallow or superficial beauty, but the true beauty being seen and named and praised in us by God. Yet imagine even more the freedom it would give you in your love, in your friendships, in your community, if you could be the one who bestows that same blessing, the ability to see, to name, and to praise beauty in those around you. When Edwards realized God was the God of beauty, he began to see that salvation itself in Jesus Christ, the gospel, the good news, was actually about God redeeming and restoring you in Christ as beautiful through Christ's beauty, sending you out then to share and to spread that beauty that Christ has been redeeming in you through all of creation. It seems almost too good to be true, and yet so it is. Could you imagine who the church, who you and I could be in Christ if we reclaimed the gift of beauty, the gift God has bestowed on his creation? Don't miss our newest episode, The Rose of Sharon, in our study of the Song of Songs, Sex, and the Search for Intimacy.